Hi, everyone. Welcome to Evolving Women. I'm Teresa Lisum, and I'm coming to you with my amazing guest co-host, Caren Cooper. Welcome, Caren. We're evolving women. You're evolving. We're all evolving. So let's just help each other to evolve. Our intention here with all of our episodes is to fill the world with uplifting messages, new perspectives, tools, resources, different wellness ideas, maybe some mindset shifts. And we're also here to give you permission to be your best ever evolving self. So we're here to give you permission to live your best life. So welcome. We're so glad you're here. Do you ever feel like you're meant for more? That maybe you're not being your true, authentic self? Maybe you're playing too small. Well, we're going to explore all of that today with my guest co-host, Caren Cooper. Thank you so much for being here, Caren. So appreciate you spending some of your time and sharing some of your wisdom with us today.
Thanks for having me. I'm really excited to be here today.
So let's just go ahead and dig into this. I know you said this was on your mind as of late, so I'm going to allow you and give you permission to start our conversation, and let's see where it goes.
Oh, no pressure.
No pressure.
None whatsoever. So what I was explaining to Teresa before we got on was I've had on my mind a lot lately how women, especially, we tend to shrink and hide and not ask for what we want and not show up fully as our true authentic selves. And yes, I know the word authentic is like getting thrown around a lot, but I've always been like, always stay true to who you are. So there. But that being said, because this is what I do, in my coaching business, but I'm really finding it how we don't realize the power that we have within us, and how when we um make changes, if we start to make changes to show up fully, then even still we're worried about what other people are going to say. Well, we're worried about others. We're worried about others and
Yeah.
not just showing up as our full, authentic, true selves so that we can blow shit up in our lives and our business.
Warning, warning, there may be some S-bombs going off.
I was going to ask, and then it just came out. You know what I mean? So it's really been on my mind a lot lately because I find that that's what's been happening quite a bit, because we're allowing the self-doubt, the imposter syndrome, and the inner critic be really, really loud. And that's what's holding us back in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah. And I think as women, we're kind of programmed or trained in our society to kind of stand back. Yes, be nurturing, allow your family to, take the central stage, and you're just in the background supporting them. So I just think that's something, again, in our culture here in the States, that's just common. And it's almost a badge of courage, not a badge of courage, but a badge of honor to be able to do that, which is fine and good. But I think at some point we all, as women, we get to the point where like, all right, enough of that.
Well, right. But if it turned like it, for a lot of us, I'm sure, like in my case, it was, turned into people pleasing. So you're doing literally for everybody else but yourself.
Yeah.
And in that process, there's very much an overwhelm and then a burnout that really occurs. And there's something inside of you was like, but wait, there's more. Listen, I wore the working mom title like a badge of honor, like a bad, like that commercial. If you're old enough to remember, I bring home the bacon fried up in a pan. Like I totally remember that commercial, and you know what I mean? It was like, we can bring home the bacon, we can do all the things. And so we were like, kind of like, it's not put on a pedestal, but it's like, yeah, we can go to work and we can be a mom and we can do this. And, I thrived in the chaos and I thrived in the insanity of being a working mom and being a mom, and all the things to the detriment of myself.
Yeah.
And to the detriment of not showing up as who I truly was, and not realizing that I had the power to make that change was also a very interesting point, right? And that's the thing, we all have the power within us, but like because of our conditioning, because of our programming, a lot of us are like, well, this is just the way it is.
Yeah.
And I'm here
Yeah.
to blow that up and say, no, it's not.
Yeah, I know that power within us. We tend to forget that, don't we? And if we were never taught that, that may be new information for some people.
Yes. And spoiler alert, I'm giving away the ending of The Wizard of Oz. But if you haven't seen the movie, apologies to you. But nonetheless, at the end, the good witch Glinda turns around to Dorothy because she's the one to go home. And she's like, well, you had the power all along, my dear. I'm
Mhm.
paraphrasing, and we don't realize it because of the stories we're telling ourselves, because of our limiting
Mhm.
beliefs, and we allow that to be massive and loud and proud, which is fine, and it served its purpose.
Yeah, yeah,
You know what I mean? You did what you did with you did the best you could with what you had.
yes.
But now, in my passion and what I want to do is flip the script on all of that and be like, no, harness the power within you. Let's realize that we can rewire and reprogram our limit. We can rewire and reprogram and not be in that same conditioning that we always have, on top of which other people's opinions are none of our business and it doesn't matter.
Hmm. Yeah, I remember once telling something to my mom about, you can change that. That can be, you can pick something different. And she's like, no, I can't. That's just my personality. That's how I always am, and I was just like, that was just like a thing right in my face. Like, oh, she really doesn't know she does have the power within her
Right.
to
Right.
change.
And we how and I'd be curious to hear from the audience when this comes out, like how many of you have said like what your mom said. This is just the way I am. This is just the way it
Hmm.
is. I
Hmm.
was I was 100% guilty of that as a kid.
Hmm.
Like I absolutely thought, I never dreamed big. I
Yeah.
never thought, money was always tight. It was a chaotic household.
Hmm.
That's just
Hmm.
the reality. No offense to my mom,
Yeah.
but that's just reality. And I was like, well, that's just the way it is. This is just it is. It never
Hmm.
occurred to me that it could be anything different. And I always tell this story. My brother, who's 4 years older than me, was like, hell fucking no. I'm not going to live like this. I'm not going to do this. He decided that he wasn't going to be that way. And he's very successful.
Mm.
You
Good.
know what I mean? And we grew up in the same.
Yeah, but as a male, I think it's a little easier to
Maybe.
think like that. That's their encouragement, is to
Well, I
be
think
that way.
about 100%, like that's their encouragement. And like I know for me and for a lot of us, our limiting beliefs, they start like whatever it is and whatever trauma occurred to us. You know what I mean? And in my case, and the overarching theme and the reason why I didn't dream, and I'm betting a lot of us, is because, and I see a lot of this in my clients as well, not enough and not worthy. Those are the
Yeah,
big overarching
exactly.
themes.
Yep.
Because we feel that we're not enough and we're not worthy. We don't feel that we have the choice, and we feel this is just the way it is. And we're
Yep.
going to shrink and we're going to hide, and we're not going to show up as our fully expressed, unique, badass selves and do what we want to do.
Hmm. Yeah. Oh, that's was my story. And I can't say it's 100% gone or changed, but yeah, not enough, not worthy. I can't do that. I'm not that good. Other people are, but I'm not, like that was just a story that kept coming up for me in lots of different ways. Again, is it 100% gone? No, but it's a process I've started and am chipping away at that and making that change. But I do have that awareness now. When I was younger, I didn't have that awareness.
Right.
So it's from like what we're talking about, podcasts, books, all of that information that's available out there. That's helps you start to change and start to see the light and start to be
Yeah.
on the
Completely
journey of
agree.
being aware.
Right. And or you work
So
with me.
yeah.
Because that's what I do.
Yeah, or coaches or whatever. We all have
Yeah, I mean, but
mentors
yeah,
and
coaches, yeah, I mean,
yeah.
yeah, but no, I mean, I would not, but coaches, that's why coaches are really good in that sense. Like,
Mhm.
to your point though, to your point, um, books, I mean, books are phenomenal, right?
Mhm.
So, because coaches are amazing. I'm a coach, and that's exactly what I do, what Teresa described. I help you with the rewiring and the reprogramming and evolve your
Mhm.
identity. However, YouTube is a phenomenal resource.
Mhm.
By the way, books, are also really great resources, personal development, just, personal growth and development. Look up, even just, Tony Robbins, Mel Robbins, Jamie Kern Lima are really
Yeah, yeah.
really good. Tracy Litt, my mentor, Kathy Heller. These are all people that I follow. And when I first was starting out in my journey, I was doing network marketing. So like Eric Worre was a network marketing person.
Yeah.
And things, but Tony Robbins was like the big one. And all of these people, it's like you can follow them and learn from them and help you, like Teresa, like you're doing, help you, uncover what's going on, peel that onion and do that kind of thing. Where a coach or other people like myself come in is to help guide you and to support you in that endeavor. Because
Right.
when things come up, what are the tools and the tricks, not tricks, but tools that you can use that you can have forever, so that when your wounds come up, when your limiting beliefs come up, as they will when you up level, how do you then deal with those at that moment? Because when you start uncovering, right, what's really going on beneath the surface, it triggers so much information, and it triggers a lot from
Right.
inner child and things like that. So it's also, there's inner child healings, there's meditations, I'm sure too, there's on YouTube as well. It's like, understanding the depths of how to deal with that, because once you do and sit in the feelings and feel the feelings, even though they may feel like crap at the time, when you come out of that, the beauty is when you come out of it, how incredible you feel and how incredible it is. And you were talking about your mom earlier, and I'm going to relay this story that we spoke about before. So I did a video yesterday on social media about trauma around my name, because it's spelled Caren, and I have to spell it all the time. And when I'm in networking meetings, people are like, Caren, they don't know how to pronounce. I'm not joking. They don't know how to pronounce it and things like that. And I just, for the longest time, hated the way my name was spelled, because it made me different. And I was seeking so much external validation, because I
Yeah.
didn't realize that
Yeah.
the power within me that have drove me insane. And part of me stepping into my own power now and my own uniqueness is enjoying the uniqueness of my name and owning it. Right. So I did a whole video on this yesterday on Facebook and LinkedIn and Instagram. And my mom called me this morning for something completely different. And then she tells me what she needs to tell me. And she's like, and I'm sorry I traumatized. I'm not even joking, this really happened. And she's like, I'm sorry I traumatized you. And my response to her, and by the way, it had nothing to do with her, which it didn't. Did she give me the name? Yeah. But her giving me the name had nothing to do with my trauma. Because the trauma is also, we make meaning out of so many different things, and therefore we make a story out of it, and that
Yeah.
becomes a limiting belief, and there you go, and the circle goes round and round.
Right, right. So so your mom gave you this name, just, the way it was spelled, which I think is really cool and unique. But as a kid, you might not want to stand out with that unique name. We all try to conform as kids, but it was how you responded and the story you created around it. So you kind of caused your own trauma or your own stress around it, which she meant nothing. It was just like a harmless name. But it
100%.
was you that attached the negative meaning to it or the negative story to it. Us humans, we do that all the time for the most innocent things. A comment that somebody made to us back in kindergarten, maybe like about singing. Oh, just mouth the words because you're not singing as well as everybody. Like we just took it, personalized it, owned it, and it restricted and limited our lives up until we have that realization. But it is all, it's just it's other people's opinions that they're just popping off in the moment, as it has absolutely nothing to do with us, but yet we take it, internalize it, and run with it and protect it and
Right.
embellish it. And
Exactly. And that stays within us until, if ever, we decide,
yeah,
wait a minute,
yeah.
something is up here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it is, until you decide that you want to uncover. Because you may not even realize that's what happened. Like, to your point,
Exactly.
you may not even
Exactly.
realize that was the impetus for what happened and what occurred and whatnot. And that's the beauty of doing the work, right? The inner work is the uncovering of it. And you may not think it, because it's not pretty, it's not sexy,
Mhm.
not gonna
Mhm.
lie,
Yeah.
but it also helps us understand why we are the way we are and what we've
Mhm.
done up until this point.
Right. And it's good to have an outside person who can be objective and is not inside our head, such as a coach
Right.
or, Tony Robbins or somebody that is helping guide other people through their own crap.
You know what? And to your point, a good coach is not your guru, right? A good coach is guiding you, is
Mhm.
helping you,
Yeah.
is asking you questions
Right.
so that you can uncover what's going on with you, right? And understand it. And it's just data.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they're there to guide, and they're there to literally to guide you. That's what what I and that that's any good coach. Okay,
Mhm.
is a guide. They're not your guru. They're
Right.
not going to save you, because if you and I say this with love, but if you think they're going to save you, that's you also abdicating your power.
Yeah. Yeah.
Understanding that working together symbiotically is what will allow you to eradicate your limiting beliefs, understand what had happened to you, so that you can rewire and reprogram and evolve to a new identity.
Right. And I've jotted down the word accelerate. A
Mm,
coach, a mentor is there to help guide and accelerate your journey through that.
yeah, yeah, 100%,
Mhm.
100%. Because how do you, and I'll ask, how do you want to live your life? Like, how do you want to live your life? And no judgment, no
Mhm.
judgment. If you're like, I'm cool the way I am, and I'm good,
Mhm.
judgment. But
Right.
if there's a tinge of you that is like, I know I'm me. I know I'm scared, but I know
Yeah.
I have this feeling that like I know I'm not feeling like myself. I know I'm not showing up as who I
Mhm.
am, and I'm nervous to do so. And I'm waiting. Other people are going to say something, and what's going to happen, and blah 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 blah. That's the impetus to take action and make a change, because you
Right.
have that feeling. That feeling is there for a reason.
Oh, correct. I totally agree with that. And I was just listening to something this morning. A person who somebody from the outside might see as a successful person farther up the ladder, made all the right choices, has it all together. When she was expressing, like, yeah, no, that's not really, that's how you see it. But in her head,
Right.
it was, she still had fears. She was afraid she was going to be found out. She was, yeah, it was really, and I found that to be a consistent story from so many people that others see as successful or influential or whatever. And they still are dealing with their own stuff that we don't realize.
Yeah. Well, because the imposter syndrome and the self-doubt is looming, and it doesn't go away.
Yeah.
That's why I'm talking about the tools to help you understand it and be aware of it and how to address it, right? Because it's really welcoming it. It's really part of doing that is welcoming it. Like, oh my God, cool beans, you're showing up, because that means I'm doing your thing.
Yeah.
You know what I
And
mean? 'Cause that's really what it is.
befriending it,
It's befriending it, but
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know what I mean? As you up, the interesting thing is how people perceive things. You can't help how people perceive things, right? So yes, someone looks at, listen, before I started my own growth journey, okay, people thought I was fabulous. I love your energy. People were, oh
Hmm.
my God, you're so fabulous. And inside I was like, who on God's green earth are you talking to? It was like when I would go to parent-teacher conferences for my children, and they'd be like, "Oh my God, they're so fabulous." I'm like, "Who the hell are you talking about?" Because they're not like that in my house. The
Right.
same thing.
Right. Yeah. 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 I remember that as well.
Because I was like, "Are you sure you're talking about?" Like it was
Right.
like the
Yeah. Yeah.
funniest thing,
Check the
but
name
like,
on that. Are we talking about the same
really? Is that
kid?
really? But my kids are literally Jekyll and Hyde, but that's the point. But like, it was true. They're 23 and 18 now, but still, but I, for the longest time, didn't believe, and this part of shrinking and hiding is lack of belief in yourself,
Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
right? And so when people were like, oh my God, so I presented, much like the successful person you spoke about, I, as this happy-go-lucky, very energized, I'm a very outgoing person. But on the inside, I was 100% the person that said I was fine, but dying on the inside. And I can guarantee you, many of you can relate to that sentence.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So, and I, you can't help how people perceive that, because I wasn't allowing people to see that, first of all. But that also, but being like that and feeling like that is why is why I was shrinking and hiding and
Mm-hmm.
not showing up as my true, really true authentic self. Yes, you know, I do dance on social media. Yes, I was showing up in certain different ways, but learning to love and appreciate self-love and self-trust and
Mm-hmm.
self-acceptance
Yeah. Yeah.
is really what has allowed me, and what I teach, and how, you know, and I know all the other people say this as well. That's what allows you to show up in your power.
Well, and I want to emphasize that we all are on this journey, and we can't compare ourselves to somebody else's journey and their supposed success, because they went through those stages and those things within themselves as well to get to that point. And if we're not to that point, that's fine. We're on our journey. So comparison is really irrelevant, but we do it all the time, you know, like that's just,
You know what, and the saying is, comparison is a thief of joy, and that's really it.
yeah.
Everybody is on their own journey in their own way. And I just saw a post today from someone, and it's like the tortoise and the hare, right? She wrote how her growth is not is smaller than
Mm-hmm.
than of her peers. I couldn't say that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Than that of her peers. And she's like, that's okay, because I know I'm doing this and this in order to move the needle forward.
Mm-hmm.
And
Right.
she even wrote at the bottom, she's like, you know, slow and steady wins the race. And I'm like, and that's what the point of it. Everybody has their own growth journey. Everybody has their own journey in life, period, end of sentence.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that person being where they are, you don't know where they started and what.
Exactly.
No, nobody has any idea unless they say it. And sometimes they don't. And that's okay. Your journey is your journey.
Mm-hmm.
We're each individual person, and there's literally nobody like us in the
Oh,
world at all.
yep, I am with you
So
that
who do
on
we
that
compare?
100%. Yeah. And we all want to show up, at least I do, in that, you know, we'll use that word authentic self again, the person I'm meant to be, because yeah, there's nobody like me. There will be nobody like me. And it would almost be a travesty of cheating the world of why I'm here and how my energy is showing up and, you know, how I'm serving others. And if I don't do it, then it's never going to be done. Nobody's going to benefit
100%.
from me. Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely accurate. 100%.
Mhm.
And it's funny, I saw somewhere else recently where it says authenticity is in, and I was so pissed. It so triggered me. Because I'm like, why did it stop? Why was authenticity never, like,
Yeah.
in my brain, right? It's showing, because I know, like, years ago, no, you have to, like, on Instagram, whatever it was, you have to have these like grids, like there's certain things, certain aesthetically pleasing things that people had to do. And from me, I was like, I don't know, why can't you just show up as who you are? And so
Mm-hmm.
now I think that's what's really happening, is that the reason why people are saying authenticity is in, and why it's such an overused word, but it's true, like, in the sense that people are starting. So I'll just say it in the sense that now people, like, you know what? No, like, look, hi, I have a bunny behind me. You can totally see the mess behind me. I don't give a crap. Okay, there's a bunny behind me right there because I'm in my daughter's old room. Okay, and that was something that was in her incubator when she was in NICU 23 years ago.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and I just don't care. And
Yeah.
that's my point. Like, that's stepping into your house. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it
Yeah.
doesn't have to be beautifully curated. It's true to who you are. I mean, look
Right.
at his background, which the sun is like the best thing ever behind you. I'm loving it. But you know what I'm saying? That's her background, and that's what brings her
Mm-hmm.
joy. But the point is that brings you joy. I know it
Yeah,
does,
it does.
right?
That's why it's
So,
there. Yep.
you know what I'm saying? So it's like, the point is like, what brings you joy? What are your desires? And that's what you show up as. Because to your point, Teresa, you made such a big point with, you would be doing a disservice to others who are requiring you to show up as you to help them in some fashion.
Right, right.
And by the way, it's also just helping ourselves. Being true to ourselves is freeing, and it's freedom,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and allows us to be expressive.
Well, I was just going to say, like today, like I was looking at my hair, like, oh, I should have done a better job with my hair. Like, oh, well, this is me today. Take it or leave it, you know? That's me being my authentic self. Like, okay. Well,
Exactly, exactly. And that's the beauty of what you're portraying to your audience right now is that. And listen, other people's opinions, if they trigger you, there's a reason why it triggers you,
mm-hmm.
right? Because
Yeah.
the thing is, people, especially in this day and age, people are always going to have something to say. And to your
Yes.
point earlier, to bring it back to what you said earlier, how do you respond?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Do we give their opinions meaning, or do we understand that that's their opinion, one person's opinion? And is that person important to us? And if not, then we can dismiss their opinions. You know, and
and like,
maybe they're having a bad day and their opinion is like kind of on a negative side today. But yeah, we don't need to take that on. Just, you
right,
know.
and that's their, and like you said earlier, is they're projecting their stuff onto us.
Right. And when you mentioned external validation, you know, I always was seeking external validation, other people's opinions to allow myself to feel good about myself. And I remember a coach, we had one session together. I mean, she said, like, why are you searching for external validation? And like, I just kind of sat there like, that's a darn good question. Like, I don't know. Because, I wasn't centered. I didn't know who I was. I didn't, like your whole identity thing. I mean, I love that. Sometimes we do lose touch with our identity because we've given it away to other people. It's attached to a job we may no longer have, and it does take people sometimes to find themselves, the whole find themselves phrase.
Yeah,
What are they finding? They're finding their authenticity, and their identity is their true selves.
exactly. They're finding who they were before all the
Yeah,
bull.
yeah, I like that. Who they were, yes.
That's what it is.
Originally,
Of
originally.
who you were before all the crap, that
Mhm.
all the meeting you made, all that stuff. That's really what you're finding.
That is so true. What did I hear about remembering? Remembering the word, like you're remembering yourself, like bringing yourself back to yourself.
I really like
Yeah, that was good. I
that.
don't remember who said that, but it was really profound. And
You
I don't
like
know
me, you
about you,
read and
but
look at I was gonna say you like me, you read and look at a million things so you
I
can't
know
forget.
exactly. Yeah, and I was going to go somewhere with that, and I don't know where I was going, so I'll have to let that thought go right now. Oh, I know. I was going to say, like, we talked about coaches, mentors, books, like all these different resources. And I always, if I can get one thing out of it, then it was worth my time. Going to workshops and listen to podcasts. And if you can get one, two, three things out of it that's a gem for you that you resonate with, then it's good. It's a success. You're adding that to your repertoire of tools that
Mhm.
you have for your own self. So I hope that people listening to this, watching this, has gotten something, some gem that you can hold to yourself and take in and assimilate and go forward with
I do
in
as
some
well.
form or fashion.
I do too. I said, in my personal opinion, we did a fabulous job. But you know what? But I will say this. Um, and I'll just say something that Jamie Kern Lima said that really, really struck with me, because a lot of times, people, when you do things against the grain, against what's norm, there's a lot of opinions that come with that too. And what Jamie Kern Lima wrote in her book Worthy was, "You're not
Mhm.
crazy, you're just first."
Yeah, I know. I
And I
love
just
that. Yeah, yeah.
love that. So I wanted to
Yes.
just say, you know what I'm saying? You're not crazy,
Yeah.
you're just first. So
Yeah.
you're doing something that people before you haven't done before, and that's really cool.
Yeah, that is a great book. We can throw that out as a resource. Worthy. That's just the title of it. And yeah, it is a great, so many gems in there, man. So many gems.
Yeah.
So a resource that our listeners can go check out. Where can they find you, Caren? How can they check you out?
Check me out. I am all over the socials, the social medias. Facebook, I am Caren, Caren, Shagren, Schagren Cooper. Same thing on LinkedIn. So LinkedIn and Facebook are my first maiden and married name. And on Instagram, it's at Caren Cooper _. So find me and friend me and message me that you know, that you heard me on here. And then, you know, we can go from there.
Yeah, we'd love for you to give us your thoughts and your comments. So feel free to do that. And Caren's contact info will be in the description. So make sure you check that out. And we're going to invite you to think about, are you shrinking? Are you hiding? Are you playing small? Are you being your authentic self? So my call to action is just think about that, contemplate on that, journal that, take it for a walk. That's what I do. Take my stuff for a walk and just see what your answers are to yourself. And if you need somebody to help you, feel free to contact Caren or me or any other coach that resonates with you. There's always going to be something that you can, or someone you can connect in with to help you on your journey. We all want to accelerate people's journeys. I wish I had people. I mean, I did have a lot of people that helped me get here to where I'm at, but it's always helpful to find one that's just really going to boom, boost you forward.
Yep.
So.
And to just to piggyback on what you said, because I'm not even going to add to it. But the one thing I want to add is when you journal and when you write and when you do all the things, there is no judgment. It's only compassion. Because again, you did the best you could with what you had.
Yes.
So if the answer is yes, I was shrinking and this is what was going on, that's it. That's what was going on. Now you know, now you're aware. So you can't change what you're not aware of. So now you're aware, so you can make changes. And that's
Yes.
really cool.
Thank you for that. Awareness is a huge first step. If you don't have that awareness, yeah, nothing's going to change. So thank you so much, Caren. Such a delightful conversation. We so appreciate you and what you're doing out there in the world. So thank you for helping all the women that you do and that you will in the future. And we want to thank everybody for listening and enjoying this episode, and watch for the other episodes. And we will see you the next time. Thank you so much, Caren. Thank you, everybody
Thank you,
watching.
Teresa. Thank you,
Bye-bye.
everyone. Bye.